Welcome back to my Final Fantasy XIV drama series. Today's drama story is about toxic catgirl behavior. If you enjoy these kinds of videos, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you want a great drama story, boy do I have one for you. This one contains romance, drama, friendship, betrayal, and pettiness all wrapped up in one grand ending. I think I should probably add that I'm not exactly innocent in this story as well, but I can say I am the lesser evil. I'll try to tell this story to you from an unbiased perspective as possible, regardless of me calling myself the lesser evil. You'll see why soon. Haha. So sit back, relax, and eat some tasty buttered popcorn and grab a refreshing drink on the side. This will be a crazy one. Ooh, I like that. I love that intro, guys. Okay. This story takes place about 2 years ago in the Crystal Data Center, around the time of some patch in Shadowbringers. I don't remember which. I was a sprout and I wanted to level up some of my alt classes and jobs in Palace of the Dead. From there, I met a girl named, well, let's call her Catherine. She was a mid-height, white-haired Mikote who had clothing and hairstyles I thought looked really cool, especially since I was a sprout who didn't know much about glams or where to get them. Everything was new to me in that department. I thought she looked very stylish and her personality came across as confident, especially when she spoke to me. Catherine happened to be leveling up jobs in Palace of the Dead, like me, along with her boyfriend, who we will call Jake. She approached me when she saw I was doing Palace of the Dead alone and invited me to the party with them. From there, the three of us became really close friends. I was also invited to her Discord where we would chat and run content daily together. I was really happy I met Catherine, mainly because I was new to the game and hadn't made any friends yet. It's gonna be like famous last words kind of scenario. Sure, I had my FC, but it felt like they were already in cliques. I ran event content with them, but it ended at that. Never did we get to know each other on a personal level enough to become close friends. But let me get back to Catherine. Let's just say it didn't take me long to find out that there were some things not right about her. The first red flag happened when we were doing an alliance raid together. She was the tank of our alliance and attempted to main tank the boss in the World of Darkness alliance raid. I quickly noticed that despite her many years playing the game, she wasn't quite the best at playing certain jobs. But who am I to judge? I was a sprout. Surely I probably couldn't have done better. So I said nothing about it and just let her do her thing. The boss we were on was the boss with the one eye that shoots lasers and gives doom to people standing in the wrong place. If you didn't know the name of the Alliance Raid to begin with and all you heard was that, you know exactly what Alliance Raid the OP's talking about. She had spun around and pointed the laser beam at other Alliance members. And you guessed it, people were pissed about it. I remember being in an Alliance run just like that, and then we wiped at that boss and then we had to start over and people were pissed. She was getting flamed in the Alliance chat. And the other Alliance tanks were provoking the boss away from her. I was caught off guard when I saw she had started a whole entire conflict within the Alliance chat. Catherine was saying things like, "Shut up, I'm doing fine. You guys were just standing the wrong way." Honestly, she never seemed to own up to her mistakes. That was the start of me learning she was somewhat toxic. Fast forward a couple of weeks and things were normal after that incident until I had finally finished Shadowbringers and its patches. Then I had all the content unlocked. With all my content now unlocked, Catherine felt it was time to introduce me to PvP, or more specifically, Frontlines. We met an aura male who was good at samurai PvP. We ended up jokingly challenging him to PvP at the Wolf's Den in a one-on-one match. During both of our turns against him, we lost horribly, but laughed it off. Catherine ended up inviting him to her Discord as well. He began teaching us the samurai PvP rotation and tactics to get kills. The samurai will be called Yazu. Everything was going fine. We added a new friend to the group. Our group kept expanding too. I met another friend through Catherine who also ran Palace of the Dead, Olivia, another Miko, and her male best friend Eliza, who played a female Viera. Now, we had a group of 6. Catherine, myself, Yazu, Olivia, Jake, and Eliza. But I mostly hung out with Catherine and Eliza. Before I tell you what crazy event occurred with Yazu the samurai, I must first tell you about another incident. Catherine invited me to visit her personal home in-game, which was totally normal, right? I was intrigued by housing in the game and wanted to see it. She gave me a tour of her house and showed me her bedroom. It was at that moment I found out that Catherine was bisexual, which is totally fine except for the fact she tried to come on to me. I'm a straight woman who had a boyfriend at the time, but that didn't stop Catherine. Despite her also having a boyfriend herself, which is Jake, she told me we could ERP and Eliza could join us. She said, "We don't have to tell our boyfriends. We can just have fun between us." I asked her, "But why? It kind of seems like cheating to do this. I'm not even into girls." Catherine started to remove clothes from her character and laid down in bed. I'm just like really imagining this happening. She then reasoned, "Okay, how about you just hook up with Eliza? I'll just be around, but you don't have to do anything with me. I think your Catgirl is cute though. Besides, it's just role-playing. It's not actually cheating." Eliza also seemed to have no objections. It's because Eliza is a guy playing a female Viera. He was fully ready to join in if I said yes to this. As he started removing clothes off his character as well, it seemed to me that this was not the first time the two of them did stuff like this. They were way too comfortable about it. I awkwardly backed away and said, I just don't feel comfortable about doing this. I'm gonna go. But you two have fun." I left the house, questioning my friendship with Catherine. I was worried I'd lose a friend or that things would be awkward between us. Luckily, or should I say unluckily, I was wrong. The very next day, Catherine apologized to me for her odd behavior and told me it would never happen again. I was relieved at the time to hear this because I didn't want to end up alone in the game again. I enjoyed having friends to play with. Besides, my whole friend group was interconnected. I felt like it would fall apart if she and I didn't get along. So from that moment, I tried to forget that situation and move on. That is until something else similar happened, but with my other 2 friends. Remember I said a weird incident occurred involving Yazu? Well, oddly enough, it started when all of us were going to do Stormblood mount farms. But let's just say that that mount farm was never finished with Catherine in the party. We did around 3 runs with only 1 mount drop. For a mount farm, 3 rounds is very short. Catherine then told us, "This is boring. I don't want to do this anymore." We were all baffled by this. Everyone thought we were on the same page because we all wanted mounts, including Catherine. We wondered why she changed her mind all of a sudden, but didn't need to wait long to find out. Catherine was bold. She would blurt out crude things without a care. This moment was no different. She told us straight up, that she was hot and bothered and wanted Eliza to help her out. She just like horny on the spot or something? What's going on? And she just told everyone that? Was that in chat or in a voice call? I can see chat. All of us were in disbelief. We couldn't believe she wanted to interrupt our mount farm for this of all things. But of course, none of us could stop her. We just watched as Eliza and Catherine left our Discord group voice call. So she said it in voice call. Damn. She's so like out there. She's like, I'm so hot and bothered. Come on, Eliza, let's get out of here. The remainder of us stayed in the call. I should probably mention that Jake was not with us during this. So Jake, her boyfriend, wasn't on the voice call. Catherine and Jake broke up a few days after my incident with her. Not because he knew of what occurred, but because he was a very jealous and possessive boyfriend, according to Catherine. She couldn't deal with it, so she ended things. That breakup was messy. I won't go too much into detail about it, but it involved Catherine drunkenly ranting to people in my FC Discord voice chat about Jake. Keep in mind, she was a friend guest and not an official FC member. Oh, that's awkward. Like some girl venting, venting about her relationship in someone else's FC's Discord, and she's not even in it. People just like, who dis? Jake was texting me to talk to her to fix things between them, and her accusing me of trying to steal her ex for my own, even though I was trying to help them get back together. I ended up having to apologize to my FC for her behavior and convinced her that I was not trying to be with Jake. It was exhausting, but ultimately I was successful. Well, successful in convincing her I had no ill intentions, but not in getting them back together. But back to what occurred after Eliza and Catherine left the call. With her gone, everyone was able to tell all their awkward stories they had about Catherine. Apparently, she had tried to have phone sex with Olivia and also Yazoo, while Yazoo had a girlfriend. Oh my gosh, she's tried it with everyone there, and they're all sharing now. It was at this point we all took turns sharing every toxic experience and crazy moment that happened with her, even the ones that weren't about her trying to come on to her friends for ERP or virtual sex. She was a mess. We all came to the conclusion we needed to drop her from the group or it wouldn't end well. So we distanced ourselves from her. All three of us left Catherine's Discord and made our own. Of course, Eliza stayed with Catherine and Jake disappeared after their breakup. That horny Eliza. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna stay with Catherine. I'm getting like ERP all the time. So we just became a trio of friends who ran content together. Things were now peaceful without Catherine in our lives. No more awkward moments of hoping she wouldn't embarrass us with her bold antics. No more unwanted sexual advances, and ultimately, our group decided that we wanted to get into the harder content of Shadowbringers. And yes, that meant extremes and savages. Let me tell you, I was always interested in harder content, but I felt I lacked the skills to do it. But that didn't stop Yazoo from dragging me and Olivia into Emerald X. After a lot of deaths, we cleared it. I was surprised and pleased that I cleared my first current extreme. It made me want to do more of them, but I had party finder anxiety, so there were times I was codependent on Yazoo or Olivia to be with me. Oh, we all remember our early days like that. Our first extreme, we're like, yes, I love this, let's do more. And then like you feel like if you're gonna go into party finder, you absolutely need your friends. I was like, I don't want to go alone, hell no. So I remember, I can relate. I still lacked a lot of skill. I died so much on Ruby X, my gear broke, and 7 other of my friends had to carry me. Yup, I was that bad. But I improved with time. I was able to clear all of the extreme fights of Shadowbringers and get a mecha dragon. Nice. I thought Catherine was out of my life for good, and that she had given up, but I was wrong. Catherine once again re-entered my life. Catherine had an evil plan she was about to put into play and come for her revenge. Damn, doesn't sound good. Oh man. I found out she was following me around on alt accounts and stalking me in game. I think she was borderline obsessed with me, even though all I ever did to her was stop talking to her. That's literally it. Normally, people would just say, screw you, I don't need you, and then move on. But not Catherine. The situation escalated the moment I met another male aura that Yazoo introduced me to. He was a pretty chill person and was even newer to the game than me. I'll call him Derek. I motivated Derek to continue the MSQ and told him that our friend group would help him get through dungeons and trials, with me playing Astrologian for fast queues. Little did I know, Catherine was paying attention to all that I was doing. Oh my god, she was spying. She in the corner like, what's going on? She began formulating lies about me. She contacted my boyfriend at the time through Discord and told him I was cheating. Oh my god, it's gonna get dirty. None of that was true. To add insult to injury, she tried to seduce him away from me by sending provocative pics of her private area to him. I was livid. What the heck? She got some balls, man. She hates the girl. She's sending private parts to her guy. So insane. Sounds like hell. My boyfriend believed me though. He cussed her out and blocked her. I was proud of him. I was glad we had that kind of trust between us. But unfortunately, that trust didn't last long. Catherine had succeeded in forming a seed of doubt in my boyfriend's head. That would like create some sort of like, why is this happening? You know, the boyfriend's thinking. My boyfriend, who I'll be calling Craig for this story, started doubting me every time I hung out with Derek. He said things like, it's not that I don't trust you, I just don't trust him. He was still suspicious of me, even though I had reassured him multiple times that nothing was going on. Our relationship began to feel the strain. Craig started to become more distant towards me. I felt like I was losing him, and the worst part was that Catherine was probably enjoying my pain. All because I decided it would be best to cut her out of my life. I wish I had never met her in the first place. Oh, do you remember at the start of the story? She was like, oh, Opie was like, oh, I'm so glad I met Catherine. Now it's like, I wish I never met this person. The contrast. I reached out to Craig multiple times, trying to stay connected. I invited him to events. I tried to show affection to him, but he just remained distant and reserved. This same behavior continued for multiple weeks. I felt awful to have lost someone I loved. But the worst part was we hadn't even broken up. So we were just in some kind of limbo. This feels horrible. Imagine being in this situation. Oh, I don't even know what you're supposed to do. After a while, I made the mistake of venting my sadness to Derek. The reason I say it was a mistake is because I was vulnerable and lonely. And unfortunately, when two people are sad and lonely, feelings are born. Oh, she's starting to like Derek. I said I wasn't innocent in this situation, and I'm not. The lie Catherine told on me became a fulfilled prophecy. I started to have feelings for another man who was not my boyfriend. Oh my god. Sometimes, literally, sometimes just planting that idea can do the trick. I don't know about you guys, but like, I think we've had those situations where like, when you're younger and people in your class say like, that guy likes you, or like they're like, you like him, don't you? And they start like shipping you together and you didn't even like that person. But then because everyone around you is always saying it, you're like, okay, like maybe I do like him now. And then you start like hanging out and I don't know. Probably like a wrong example, but sometimes what people say could like happen, just magically happen. Social pressure is a hell of a drug. It wasn't long before it was known I was bad at hiding it. He found out and I confessed. But within my confession, I told him nothing can happen between us. It isn't right. I still have a boyfriend. Even though I have feelings for you, we should forget about each other. I can't talk to you for a week. I'm going to try to regain the love I have for my boyfriend. Derek understood. But did he stay away? No. I didn't hear from him for 2 days. And on the 3rd day, he messaged me to check up on me. I hated him for it too, because he became my weakness. Sounds like they like each other quite a bit. The worst part, my boyfriend caught on. He knew I had feelings for Derek. It sucks because I didn't have the feelings before. I was honest at the time Catherine lied on me. But now he probably thought it was the truth all along. And to add salt to my wounds, Derek tried to move on too. He started seeing a girl in-game that I'll call Yumi. I'll admit I felt pretty shitty and jealous of another girl with a guy who wasn't my boyfriend. I felt like a mess. Oh my god. I feel like anyone in OP's position would be like, what the heck is going on? This is just so many things in one package. It's just a lot going on here. Craig finally woke up though. He was no longer distant with me and saw he was losing me. So he tried harder. But at that point, it was too late. I had already found my own feelings leaning more towards Derek, and I hated myself for it. Despite Derek trying to forget me on his end, he couldn't. We were both in the same dilemma of being in separate relationships, hurting, trying to get over each other, and feeling guilty for our feelings, all while trying to do right by our actual partners and remain away from each other. It was hell. You thought this was the end of it. Not even close. Trust me, things get much worse. For real? Worse than that? My friends found out about my feelings for Derek. Yes, Olivia and Yazoo. They judged us so hard, more so Yazoo than Olivia though. I was slowly being kicked out of my friend group for what happened. They immediately took Craig's side without getting the full story of things. Although I don't know how else I could have said things to sound better. It looked bad either way. That's true. No matter how you tell that story, like everyone's just gonna think you're just lying, right? But even after the bombshell of friends finding out and the attempt of me trying to break up with Craig because I felt it was better to end the relationship rather than cheat, Craig held on. He wanted to keep trying. He stood by me despite my moment of weakness within my own feelings. And he told me he would try to fix things with my friends over time if I came with him to Primal. I had to leave Crystal Data Center altogether. Man, that was hard. I had a house there. My memories were all there. He said that that was his only condition. Oh my god, this is an ultimatum. Come with me to Primal so we can be together and escape all of this mess, or else I'm gone forever kind of thing. I had to start over fresh in a new data center. Well, this is weird because if she likes Derek, you know? But I guess she's just forgetting. She pushed herself to try to forget about Derek and go back to like her normal ways with Craig. I had to start over fresh in a new data center. And you know what? I did. I followed him to Primal. I absolutely hated it too. The server felt dead. Oof. She's saying Primal's dead. Or whatever server she was in on Primal. I missed my house and I missed Derek. It did not last long. Derek called me one last time to say goodbye, and it broke me. It was a tough road, even after the call, because Catherine was back to her shenanigans. She made a fake account and tried to pretend to be Derek. Catherine is crazy. What the heck? She acted like Derek was not interested in me. And the sad part was that I believed it for a while. Because I had blocked Derek after our call. It was just the perfect timing that another account of his popped up. I reasoned he must have made this account after he saw his messages weren't going through. But luckily, I was smart to realize he said something the real Derek never would. And that's how I knew it was a fake account. I quickly unblocked the real account and spoke with him again. I decided then and there that I couldn't let go of him. I had officially ended my relationship with Craig and started a new one with Derek. We moved to Aether together. Aether became my new home. I felt even more comfy there than any other data center. I met a wonderful FC, became a savage raider, and made friends with raiders along the way. Oh, it's all raiders. It sounds like Aether. I even found the static I was able to clear a whole tier with. Our new friend group is still close to this day. Somehow, I think Catherine gave up after getting what she felt was enough revenge. And thankfully, she finally left me alone. Especially when my ex found out sometime before our breakup that she was doing illegal shit and threatened to rat her out. That isn't all there is to tell, but if I told you every single thing Catherine did to me, this story would be way too long. Thank you for listening to my story. I learned in the end to be careful with who I choose as my friends. Don't ignore red flags because you never know what kind of person they'll turn out to be or the lengths they'll go to make you miserable. The end. Tour de NA. Yeah, she was in Crystal, went to Primal, then Aether. She's lived in all. What a wild story. I'd probably quit the game. Honestly, if that was happening to me, I'd be like, no, no, no. This is way too much drama for a single game. Everyone was playing Final Fantasy. Her boyfriend was playing Final Fantasy. Catherine and Catherine's boyfriend was playing Final Fantasy. It was all intertwined and messy. Their friend group. Oh boy. That was a tough one. I can't even give advice on that because it would just look bad any way you say it. Just like the OP said. Possibly one of the wrong things that she could have that OP did was try to still make it work with Craig when she definitely had feelings for Derek and OP was like trying to squash her feelings with Derek, like be gone. She should have just went with her gut and just like went for Derek then and there. I've heard so many stories in this game, like when two people just hang out a lot, talk to each other a lot, feelings are formed. I would say a lot of gamers or online people are more comfortable with sharing things online than in person, face to face. Like, think about it this way. Like, I'm sure half of you guys in my chat, I don't know how many really, but I'm sure there's a few of you in chat that have said more things about your personal life to people online than to someone face to face. Okay, the only time you'll say it face to face is if they're your close friend. But if we're talking about strangers you've never met, you probably shared more stuff to the people online. It's just a comfort thing, and this is why a lot of people end up falling for people online, because it's almost like you see this different image of someone at first. There's like a layer of what you see online only, but you don't see all the rest. until you see them in person and know about all these little things. My example of why I said what I said is I too am sometimes more comfortable to talk to people online than I am face to face. I think like face to face, I don't really dive into like deep stuff a lot. I just try to avoid it. Oh yeah. Of course, there are some very personal things that you definitely shouldn't share with people online. But I think sometimes even without us knowing or thinking about it, it just like naturally comes out. When you've talked to someone for so long, like you know this person online for like months already, and then like certain things just spill out. And then you probably think back, uh-oh, should I have said that? I guess be careful. Yeah, we all have our walls, but I swear if someone out there is determined to break down your wall, they might do it. Some people's goals out there online are to break down your walls. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this Final Fantasy XIV drama story. If you have any of your own drama stories that you'd like me to share and read out anonymously, feel free to reach out to my Discord, discord.gg/Pathra.